Hi everybody, welcome back to another video from the Football G. It is a weekday game and you know what that means, it's Champions League time. We're playing against Istanbul, Basaksehir at Old Trafford tomorrow night and we have a bone to pick with this team. We need to get some revenge on them because we kind of just imploded at their home ground. So this is an opportunity for us to correct the wrongs from that evening. At this moment in time, Istanbul sits in 6th place in the Turkish league and Manchester United are sitting in 9th place in the league. We have a better run than they have leading up to this game. We've won 2 out of our last 3 games, whereas they have lost 2 out of their last 3 games. They conceded in all of those matches as well, so the games were fairly open. The opposition scored first. That's one thing I picked up from looking into the history of their games. And so far they don't have any injuries, so I assume that the same team will play which played against us in the Champions League, because over the last 4 games that they played, they actually maintained the same starting 11 right through, just moving the players around, especially in the midfield a little bit, but they kept the same starting 11. So I'm expecting the same thing for tomorrow night. So if you remember correctly, last time around Demba Ba had an excellent game for them. Yes, we kind of helped him along on the path by giving him a free run at our goalkeeper and he finished, rightly so, but he wasn't really that influential in the game. So he is the one guy that we need to keep an eye on, and Vishka, the right winger, he's the creative hub for the team. He's the other guy we weren't able to nullify in the last game. We gave him a little bit too much freedom and rightly so, he also scored. He had a little bit more influence in the game, so I do feel that if we do want to pinpoint one player in the team, he's the one that we need to stop to try and prevent him from having counter-attacks, because once he receives the ball, he's very quick on the turn and he's able to pinpoint passes to the guys who can carry the ball forward, and yeah, that's how they play their football. But like I said, if we can nullify him, then we should be okay tomorrow. One thing I can say though is there's no chance that they're going to have the type of performance that they had last game. There's no way we're going to make the mistakes that we did the last game, and it should be a completely different game. I do believe it's going to be the game that we expected it to be the first time around, where they just sit back and we're going to be on the attack continuously. But also, then again, remember, every team that's in the Champions League have won the right to be there, so technically they will give us a run for our money in terms of if we're not on point, if we're not up to scratch for the evening and we do leave gaps, they will punish us. So we need to, again, we need to be able to push forward, but also push forward smartly so that we don't leave gaps open for them to hit us on the counter. They don't have very good players. I mentioned it in the previous video after the review of the loss that we had against them. So them hitting us on the counter is going to completely be on our shoulders if that does happen. We have the players to track back and nullify that threat if it does come to that. So it's just a matter of us managing the game correctly and being clinical when we do have our chances. What I suggest we do to try and win the game is we need to stay calm. We have to stay calm. This team is aware that we are going to come out to try and retaliate, basically, to try and get revenge for the loss that we had against them. So they are going to try and play on that, and for us to counter that and for us to actually utilize this opportunity carefully, we need to stay calm. We need to have players on the ball that can pick the right pass at the right moments. We need to not get caught on the counter, because we have clearly proved that that's one of our vulnerabilities. But if we manage the game and we have everybody on song for the evening, then we should get through this game very easily. I do believe that we need to go a little bit more experience up top. We need somebody who's going to hold the ball up. We need somebody who can pin the defenders back and be able to draw players in so that we can have a better fold-up opportunity and be able to create shooting chances. And I do think that this is going to be a game where there's going to be a lot of space outside of the box, because they don't have players that actually press very quickly. They allow you a little bit of space, but they do that because they want to give you the confidence to move forward so that they can hit the ball out and try and hit us on the counter. And again, that is one of our weaknesses. We showed it to them, and that's why we lost against them. So if we can get players that can manage the ball very precisely, that can find those passes in the right moments, and have players around Bruno that can actually play on his strengths, then we should be okay. We should be fine tomorrow night. I expect us to win the game. I know for a fact that that was a one-off with the way we lost against them. It won't happen again. It won't happen again against them at least. But yeah, it was a one-off, and yeah, we should be able to manage this game if we have the right players on the pitch. I would also like to see Ole get back to the strength that we had when we came out of the lockdown period. That was one of our best periods since he got to the team. Yes, when he just arrived, there was a 7-8 game run. No, actually there was a 15 game run that we went on and we demolished teams. Like, we were just unstoppable. But the way that we played in the second period after the lockdown, that was excellent. We played with panache, we played with urgency, we played like the team that everybody expects us to play, and that's partly why we all had these high standards coming into this season, because of the way these guys perform. Whether they're going to hit those heights again, I'm not sure. I would love to see that, because just as a fan in general, watching that style of football is beautiful to see, because you're actually seeing the players play to their strengths. And Ole genuinely needs to get back to an attacking style of play that is done smartly. There is a way to do it without leaving the defense completely exposed. And our defense also needs to take some ownership. It's not just up to the strikers to go and win the game. Wan-Bissaka needs to be a little bit more effective in the attacking third, and so does Alex Telles. And I think that will happen if we have the right players for them to go and push forward and have the same urgency when they do move. They know that they're getting the same vibe from the other players. They know that they're getting the same commitment from them, and that's why it leads me to my point where I would like to see almost all of the new boys basically play tomorrow night, so that they can have an opportunity to just go for it and prove that they deserve to be in the starting lineup. I think too many players have become super comfortable in our team. Rashford, Martial, yeah, they're the main culprits, to be honest, because what we're lacking this season is that we're not really very effective up front. They should be doing much better. That's clear cut. That's it. There's no two ways about it. This is the second season, full season that Ole is there, and you expect progress, and it just seems like they're having a little bit of a dip again. They will pick it up, but it needs to be a consistent movement. This little roller coaster ride that we're on consistently with these players, it's very annoying as a fan to watch this and see other teams, players that are average players, just take the next step and the next step and just keep progressing. So I hope that those two are going to wake up, but I also feel that they need to be dropped tomorrow evening so that we can give the new boys an opportunity, because they have a point to prove. And I think that is the biggest drive for any sportsman, is going out there with a point to prove, to show that you deserve the starting place. So let's see what Ole goes with, but for me, that would be the trick to actually get us the victory tomorrow night. I also think that we need to start realizing that there's one player who's been absolutely consistent from the get-go, from when he walked into the club. He's the way he speaks about the club, the way he carries himself on the field. It's so clear to see that there's one leader in this team, and we need to build the team around him, which is Bruno. We were willing to do that with Pogba. Ole kept talking about how we wanted to build the team around Pogba, but now we actually have a player that wants to take up that responsibility, that is a leader, that has urgency, puts in the effort. He leads by example in every way. Like, what more could you ask for? He's one of Portugal's, he's most likely Portugal's best player at this moment in time, barring Ronaldo, but he, in terms of form, he is Portugal's best player. So why not take a risk and give him the armband so that we can see if that just lights the spark under the other players' asses, because at this moment in time, Harry Maguire is not really imposing himself in the matches. Even when no matter what the situation is, he's never imposing himself. Like, he needs to be more vocal, he needs to show that he's a leader. He always just fades into the background, and I think that is partly where a lot of the effort and just the drive from the team is just disappearing. Because if you have that vocal captain that can consistently push the players to win to where they need to be in every single game in terms of what levels they need to achieve, then it takes a lot of the responsibility off the coach. And yes, the coach is there and he's supposed to do a specific job and drive the players forward, but the players also need someone on the field to take that responsibility. And I think the position Bruno's in right now, and with everything that happened before not this international break, but the previous international break, he actually took a step back from leading and from being as vocal, because there was a lot of talk about the fight that he had in the dressing room with the players and with Harry Maguire specifically and Victor Lindelof and all of that. And I would like to see him take up that role again, because I do think that he is going to ignite this team to where they need to be. But all he needs to be brave, he needs to take a risk, and he needs to give the armband to the right person and build the team around the right player, which is Bruno. So guys, this is my starting 11 for tomorrow. I want to see a lot of the new faces, basically all of them in the starting lineup. I want to see what effect it has with having basically separating the cliques and seeing what Cavani, what Telles, what basically Mason is a new player right now because he hasn't been playing, what Donny van de Beek can do when they have an opportunity to be in charge, because when it's one or two of them, you can see they struggle to actually bring their influence towards the game, because there's a lot of other players that take responsibility for majority of the things, and it feels like they don't want to impose themselves too much and are taking baby steps to try and work their way into the team. But this is how I want our team to start up. So in goals, I think it's time to give Dean Henderson an opportunity again. Yes, he didn't have the best of games against Istanbul the last time, but I think he deserves another opportunity. So I would put him in goals. I'd have Axel Aaron Wan-Bissaka playing right back, Axel Tuanzebe next to Harry Maguire, Brandon Williams playing left back. Then the midfield will be Bruno and Scott McTominay playing in the holding goals. I think Fred needs to play. And also I want someone next to Bruno that's basically able to match the effort that he gives. And I think Scott is the perfect person to do that. And then playing in front of them, I want Donny van de Beek playing in the number 10 role, which I think is his position, and we'll see the best result from him being there. And then this is where I want to see a massive chance taken. And this starting 11 is my starting 11. I don't think Ole is going to go with this, but yeah. On the left hand side, I want to see Alex Telles playing left wing. I think him being high up on the pitch with the delivery that he has, which we all know, which we've all witnessed now, the skillfulness that he has, I think it's going to be very effective in that last third. And also him being a left-sided player playing on the left to create that balance is going to help the team. On the opposite side, I want Mason Greenwood back playing right wing, and playing up front, I want to see Edinson Cavani playing in the number 9 role. Cavani deserves to start. Martial hasn't really performed. I would still, in my heart of hearts, pick him over Cavani, but I think this is an opportunity to actually play one of them and give him a chance, and like I said, to see what the new guys can do. So I think he's the number 9 that we need, and especially with Telles being there on the wing, he's going to be more effective because he will get the deliveries that he needs, whether it's high crosses, low crosses, or just interlinking play. And it also gives Bruno the opportunity to run in from deep, which I spoke about before the last game. That's the kind of runs that we need to do. We need to have players that aren't afraid to, from the defensive positions in the midfield and the defense, to run through and burst in to get that second run in, just to confuse the defense, the opposition defense. So I think Bruno being there and the energy that he has, it will work very perfectly. And with Donny being in front of him, Donny is very responsible, so when he does overlap, Donny will drop and sit next to Scott for that minute or two that Bruno pushes forward. I think that's going to be a nice pivot to try, and it would confuse teams in my opinion. So yeah, that's my starting 11 for the match tomorrow. And my prediction for the game is, I think it's going to be clean sheet for us, 3-0 victory. It's going to be the first convincing win that we had since the PSG game, RB Leipzig game. Yeah. I think the guys are going to come to the party, but then Solskjaer has to take this. We shouldn't play this safe football. And by saying that we shouldn't play safe football, I don't mean that we need to be reckless and we just need to put 9 strikers out there and go for it. I'm saying that there is a way to measure this carefully, but also not nullify the attacking threats which we have, because on paper, if we look at the league, if we look at the players that we have one of the best attacking teams, but we're not using them. We're not using them effectively. That's more correct. So I'd like to see that happen so that we can finally live up to the expectation that we have of this team and make the run that we need to do, because right now the door is still open for us to break into the top 4 in the Premier League, for us to get a good run in the Champions League so that we can comfortably move into the next round. And yeah, who knows what will happen after that. But if that doesn't happen, the pressure is going to continue to mount on the coach, and we know that's what everybody's asking for, is instead of the players blaming the players, everybody's focus is on the coach. And yeah, if things keep going the way it's going now, I think I might just join that bandwagon as well. But for now, I'm still all in. I'm willing to give him another 10 games. I'll be gracious, 10 games, because football, nothing, you can't just change things within 2-3 games. You need a run, you need consistency, you need a starting 11 that gels and gets into the rhythm. But yes guys, thank you for joining in for the preview. Please let me know what you guys think about the game and what your opinion is in terms of anything Manchester United related. There's so much to talk about with this team, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. But yeah, again, thank you for tuning in. Cheers.